I've been wanting to do this for ages now. I bought the Renogy inverter, and I was racking my brains for ages up to buying all my electrical equipment, and I wanted electrical cup and I wanted an inverter, and I wanted them to basically, this comes with a switch, so I thought, oh, I can switch it on when I need it and switch it off, which is good. It saves me going into electrical cupboard to turn it off. So yeah, it's got that switch, but I had a feeling, I did read up about something about this, and I had a feeling that it may do this, but I wasn't sure. Basically, I wanted my plug sockets in the van to be able to be used when you're not on a campsite. So I wanted them to be able to be used. So that's why I've got the inverter. It's only a 1000 watt inverter, but it's plenty enough for charging laptops and things like that off grid. So when you go onto electric, I wanted to plug electric in, and that works all my sockets, not through the inverter. I wanted it to work 240 straight off, and my inverter not be being used or not having to turn it off, like when I plug it in. Automatic transfer. So this inverter is built with an automatic transfer switch in there. So what I've done, I've put 2 plug sockets in the back of my van. At the minute, I've just done it to test. So 1 plug socket is for my battery charger, and that's coming off of my electrical unit, my RCD. So I've got 1 battery charger which runs off electrical cup, and the other plug socket is my inverter is going to be plugged into the other plug socket. Now, whether the inverter is turned on or off, if I'm on 240 volt, my plug sockets work. If I turn it on, then my plug sockets are working off my battery. Now, if it's in the on position and they're working off my battery and I plug in on site, you'll hear a click, because I've just tested all this. It is now plugged in on 240, and I have actually turned the 240 off with it in the on position, and it clicks because it's transferring over back onto the batteries. And then if I turn the power back on, it clicks again, it turns itself off from the batteries back onto 240. Absolutely amazing, perfect, just what I wanted. Gonna make everything so much easier, because originally I was going to have, like, if this didn't work, I was going to have a separate plug socket for the inverter and then separate plug sockets for the 240, and I don't need to do that. All the plug sockets will now work whether you're on a campsite or not. All the plug sockets will work. So absolutely over the moon. So this is a mockery. It's a mock-up, not a mockery. This is a mock-up of my install, because basically I needed to see this work before I know, like, my layout of everything, where it's going on here. Yup. So okay, so I've wired my batteries together. So we've got positive, negative, negative, positive. We've joined them in the middle there. So then batteries are 12 volt, still 12 volts. We've wired them like this, and they're both 100 amp per hour, so it's 200 amps, 12 volts. All good, all good. Right, my 240's hooked up with a plug socket with my battery charger, which is working, because that's on the on this end one. Now this one is another plug socket, which I am planning, I am going to now use for the inverter. So the inverter is plugged into that. It's also wired to my battery, one to this one, one to this one, and we've just put a laptop in there for the moment. Now that's turned on. It's also turned on 240, so that is now running off 240. Now listen, did you hear that? That just clicked. It's now transferred straight over. Let's just put this on. So we know that's charging there, charging. Yeah. Now we're charging off of the batteries, and if I turn this on, just have to wait for this to transfer over. But listen, there we go, click. That is now transferred over to 240. So it takes about 30 seconds, something like that. And again, we'll switch it off, click straight away. It's now running off my batteries again. So that's automatically doing that, because me clicking that on and off is exactly the same as me plugging in the van and unplugging the van.